Good morning, beautiful people. It's so early. I'm here. I woke up early for you all. I'm not an early bird either, so don't think that I'm like waking up at 6 o'clock and like getting shit done and like doing this crazy morning routine and all of that. Just wanted to get that out there. I'm gonna wait a minute to see if anybody comes on here. I know that it's early, but it is the perfect time to just listen to this as you're getting ready and to interact because today we're actually beginning talking about morning routine in general. And why it's important, all the different recommendations that I have, what I do, and depending on where we're at in time, maybe guide you through a little bit about what I do. So I'll just give you guys a couple minutes, see if anyone tunes on, but these recordings will also be available as well. I'm like unbelievably thirsty in the morning too, so there's gonna be a lot of drinking happening. How are you guys doing? How is your Monday morning? What a perfect time to tune in. We're going to be hopping on here live every single day this week. So we're going to be here 7 a.m. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. This is the 5-day Raise Your Vibration Challenge. If you signed up for my email list, which if you are in this group, you most likely have. And if you don't have it, let me know, and we can get you the digital copy, the original copy. I did a live series for this, I think a year ago, but I like to do one every once in a while so that the new people that come in can get a chance to be inside one of the live series, to interact, to get to know me and a little better, and likewise me to get to know you and everyone to get to know each other. This Facebook group is kind of a newer thing that I have been doing. So yeah, creating this community together is something that I'm really excited about. And I'm excited to just collaborate together. So like I said before, just don't feel shy to share wins in this group, to share photos, to share manifestations, to share like big scary thoughts and big scary leaps that you're taking. Like, this is what this community is about, because I know the impact that this community can make from past coaching programs that I have been in. To just have a community that is there and holds you and supports you, it feels good and it's awesome. So I'm happy that all of you guys are here. And whether you're tuning in now in the recording, I want you to know that any questions that I ask, feel free to put them in the comments and I will interact with them later. But if I don't tune in with you today, hopefully I will tomorrow. So, yeah, let's get started, guys. So we're talking about morning routine today. I know, oh my gosh, I almost don't like saying that. We're going to talk about morning routine today because I just feel like it's this overrated thing and it might turn people off as soon as they hear it and they're like, oh, I know. First off, for this whole series, I want you to think about everything that I am saying and take it in with like childlike curiosity. Okay, like you're hearing it for the first time. Because us as adults, I was writing this in my book the other day, we tend to think that we know everything. And so when somebody tries to give us like this juicy piece of advice or just anything in general, we're like, oh, I already know that. Or like mentally, we just think like we just shove it aside because we already know. But do we actually embody it? Do we actually practice it? Because if we don't, then no, we don't actually know. We don't actually have the wisdom behind this to know fully, you know? And I can say firsthand, when I first started my spiritual journey, I think a lot of people can relate to this. You tend to sink in so fast, so deep, and like go so far in your spiritual practice and do so well when you first begin. And this is because you're learning stuff that literally is entirely new to you. And I remember hanging on to this information like Like my life depended on it. I was going through something called depersonalization disorder, and I felt so disconnected and so just not present in my life at all. Beforehand, I wasn't a spiritual person, literally. I was like a party animal college kid, okay? Crazy to think back at. And I held on to all the information that I learned for dear life, and I practiced every single bit of it because I was just dying to get out of this place that I felt kind of like depression, but really just a state of no presence whatsoever, just like living in my own mind, and was just nervous to participate in life. I don't know if any of you guys have been there. It took me a while to identify what it was, a lot of research. But some of the practices that I'm going to share with you today, actually all the practices that I'm going to share with you today, are the main things that took me out of this place. They are the main things that I learned and attributed into my life after practicing a bunch of other things and finding out what worked for me. These were the staples, and they have stayed with me. And I want to say that developing your own practice is also very important depending on where you're at and what you like. There's so many different things that you can do, and I do recommend switching it up, but finding something for you that lights you up, that you're going to wake up a little bit, like however much time before you actually have to like go out and start doing all the tasks, something that's going to make you want to wake up, something that you're excited to spend time doing for yourself. That way it's so much easier, and you approach it with like this state of mind and from this energy level of excitement. So yeah, just keep that in mind. At the end, I'm going to give some other recommendations as to what you can do. I switch things up all the time and recently I've switched things up a lot, and it was a little tricky at first because things just weren't sparking inspiration anymore when you keep doing the same thing all the time. So never think that you have to do one thing, or else you're like going to fall off a cliff and your spirituality energy is just going to diminish, because that's what I thought for a minute, and that's not the case. There's so many different things that can be spiritually activating for you, depending on where your mind is at when you do it. I mean, I'm pretty sure that my boyfriend is in a spiritual place when he fishes. Like, it's legit. But yeah, anyways, let's get started. So the first thing I want to say too is, when starting your morning routine, when saying, okay, I'm going to start doing something in the morning, I'm going to start meditating, I'm going to start, doing journaling, I'm going to start some breath work, I'm going to do a yoga session in the morning. What often intimidates people so much is that they think they need to wake up like an hour and a half earlier, like right off the bat, or 2 hours, or just some insane amount. And then that intimidates them so much that they never even try. Because, the thing is like, if you're waking up at like 7 o'clock every single day, and then one Monday you just decide that you're going to wake up at 5, your body's going to be like, hell no. Like, it is not used to that whatsoever. It is in a deep sleep because it's so used to being in sleep mode during that time. So if you just can take some subtle increments, like for me anyway, and probably in the mind state, when you wake up at a certain time, say, like, once again, 7 o'clock, and you kind of get up a little bit before your alarm clock, or you start rolling around, or whatever it is. So start with that time frame. Start with 15 minutes at a time until you feel comfortable within that. But honestly, you'd be really surprised what kind of morning routine spiritual practice you can fit into 15 minutes. A lot of the times, on average, that's how long mine is. Like, seriously, it does not matter the time that you're in it. Don't feel like you need to meditate for an hour as opposed to 10 minutes. It doesn't matter the time. It matters the depth that you are going in. It doesn't matter if you're sitting there trying to meditate, but you're also battling mind chatter the whole time, and you never go into this deep meditation, as opposed to 10 minutes or 15 minutes of just deep meditation. There's a huge difference there. So don't think that time is the most relevant thing. If you approach it like a chore, like this thing you're not excited to do, like you feel like you have to do and able to like have a good day, then it loses its purpose. So I recommend, like I said, waking up 15 minutes earlier at a time until you feel comfortable with that, and moving up until you find a time frame that works for you. So the first thing that I usually start with is meditation. And lately, this is like the practice that, like I said, brought me out of this dark place in my life. But there's some more information that I could share there, but that I'm not going to. I like to chat a lot, but anyways, so it was meditation. Meditation was one of the big things in my life that started this growth journey, and I still practice it today. So I recommend trying it. Meditation doesn't work for you. There's other techniques that you can use, but I strongly recommend using meditation in your morning routine. And the reason why this is because you're quieting the mind. You're like quieting all of the brain chatter, the thoughts in your mind about worrying about traffic to get to work, the things you gotta do at work today, the fact that you hate work, or like, I don't know, all these other tasks that you gotta get done this entire week, and you're still thinking about like this friend that ditched you this weekend, and you're just like, there's so many things that go on in our mind. And only when we stop and be present and try to slow it down and observe those thoughts do we recognize it. Because it is so much harder than people think that it is. And the benefits, like, it is a practice like any other, okay? So when you first try and you got all this stuff going on in your mind and you can't quiet it worth shit, and you're just feeling like really bad about it, don't. Okay, because it's a practice. Because I still have those days, you know. I probably was better when I first started my spiritual practice and meditation because, like I said, I held on to everything than I am now. But it is a journey, it is a practice, and you get better at it, just like anything else. When you continue to practice and to take it seriously instead of just like letting your brain go crazy and then like 10 minutes go by and you're like, okay, well, technically I meditated, you know, to quiet that mind, clear that brain chatter. It really puts you in a state of mind throughout the entire day to be able to not just react to the things that are going on around you, but to respond, which is something you might have heard of before. But a reaction is just like you react to the situation, you react to the person that said that thing to you instantaneously. You don't even think about it, it's a reaction. Rather than taking it in and observing it and responding in an appropriate way, paying attention to like how you feel in that moment using emotional intelligence, which we're going to talk about tomorrow, to like respond from a place that's going to benefit you and the other person. Letting stupid shit go right over your head. Like when I practice meditation regularly, like after a week or something like that and continue to get into it, it's truly just like transcendent. Like something happens somewhere and it seems like it's gonna like stress me out to the max because normally it would goes right over my head. I feel like I'm walking on clouds. Like nothing is stressing me out, nothing is worrying me, nothing is like overbearing me or making me feel like some sort of negative way. You just, none of that gets to you. There's nothing in your head that's questioning everything around you, nothing in your head that's like taking everything like way too seriously or just like pondering off in thought. You're truly in the present, and being truly in the present makes you recognize that there is no trouble in this present moment. So please practice meditation. If you're going to take away any of the stuff that I'm going to recommend today, I would say that meditation is the one I would strongly recommend for you. But the next one is going to be gratefulness practices. I have like water here and coffee. I still haven't drank the coffee yet. I just have a little latte. I'm one of those people that like can't decide which liquid I want. I'll have like in the morning a coffee and a water and a mimosa and like I can't decide. Anybody else? Good morning, gorgeous. a good message too. Okay, so the next thing, gratefulness practices. These things you've heard about, right? But I'm going to go deeper into them because they sound really cliche and really like, not very interesting when you first hear about them. Remember, we're taking this in as if it's the first time we've heard them, as if like we're dangling onto these words like our spiritual development relies on it, like I did, because when you do that, you really take it in. So, gratefulness practices, this is another thing that just took me out of this really dark place. It started with meditation. It turned into gratefulness practice and affirmations, which we'll talk about, and sending love and light to people. But that's actually going to be a whole other topic in day 5. But that was my practice. So why gratefulness practices are so powerful? They seem so simple, but stating the things that you're grateful for, I mean, just think about it. Why do we write them off so easily? Like, really, guys. Like, we tend to talk about all of our negativities, all the things that are frustrating us, all the things that we hate, all the things that annoy us about this and about that, and all the things that are going wrong in our lives. And that's exactly why we manifest more negativity into our lives. Because what we focus on expands. And I want to ask you where you're placing your focus. And I fall victim to this too, because the same like energy releases that same emotion of dopamine, just an elevated vibration of that in general releases that dopamine level. Hi, Shannon. Good morning. So the thing is like when we focus on the negative things in our life, how often do we focus on the positive? How often do we just state out loud without feeling like an idiot? Like, honestly, when we say, well, I'm grateful for this and I'm grateful for that and this is good and this is good, you feel weird. Like, people don't like to take that in. And I hope that you would find a friend group or people around you that would like to take that in, because that can totally transform your life. But I'm speaking to you from a place of experience of knowing that this weirds people out. So turn that around and practice that. Because like I said, what you focus on expands. Focusing on what you're grateful for. There's this thing in your mind called the reticulating activating system. I think I said that right. Which basically takes what you focus on, takes what the mind focuses on, and goes out and finds it. You focusing on what you're grateful for allows the universe to go out and find you more things to be grateful for, because you are stating that you're an energetic match to things to be grateful for, because you're focusing on them. If you're only focusing on the negative things, then the universe sees, hey, you're focusing on this, you must want more of this. And same goes with gratefulness. If, hey, she's focusing on all the things that she likes in life, she likes this and this and this, and she's grateful for this, I'm going to give her more of that. That's exactly how this works with gratefulness practices. It goes much deeper than trying to convince yourself that you're grateful for something, because that's totally different. And I have been there. I've been trying to, trying to say like, well, I'm grateful for the 10 cents that I have in my bank account. And I'm grateful for, just all these other things, trying to cover up a bad situation with like something positive and trying to ignore the real cause. We can dive deeper into that in a different topic. But if you don't feel it, if you don't believe it in some sort of way, then it ruins its purpose. So this is why I like to switch things up with gratefulness practices. You'll find yourself saying a lot of the same things sometimes. I'm grateful for my job and my car, and I'm grateful for my friends and my family, and this bed I woke up in, and I'm grateful for the birds outside and my beautiful animals and stuff like that. If you start to get into this practice and all of a sudden it's just like not inspiring you, it's not lighting you up, you don't actually have to actively think about what you're saying anymore because it's become a routine, then that's when you have to switch it up. Because that is where that power lies, is in the belief and that raise of energy, having to dig through your thoughts and really think about what it is that you're grateful for, all of which is so powerful. So that is what is behind gratefulness practices. Like I said, it is like a lot deeper than what we think that it is. You can say it out loud, you can write it, state it in some sort of way, you know, something that is making like this energetic commitment, this energetic statement that, you know, that you're grateful for this, that you're committed to finding things that you're grateful for. And this is another thing that I recommend at the end of the day that has to do with this. It's kind of like a bonus topic here. But stating at least 5 wins for your day. Okay, so we're mostly talking about morning routine right now, but I think it comes full circle when you get to the nighttime, right? And I love this practice specifically because we all know we have these days where we don't think we got shit done. Like, we were not productive. We did not do anything good for ourselves or for anything. Like, what did I even do today? And we just beat ourselves up about it so much. And it's because I recognize this. I don't remember where I originally heard it, that I decided to just state some things. And when you do this, honestly, guys, like, you don't even realize how much stuff that you got done. Like, I'll be real. Yesterday was Sunday. I like hardly did anything. And you know what? That's a whole other topic in itself, but being okay with that, knowing that you're worthy of success, knowing that you're worthy of everything that you desire, regardless of what you are doing, but rather the state of which you are in when you're doing it. Like I said, much deeper topic. But you can call in anything, okay? So as of yesterday, like, I could have complained about all the things that I didn't do, but if you were to think about this for you yesterday, what is it that you got done? If you were to name your 5 wins from yesterday, what would you say? For me, I wrote a few pages that I felt really good about in my book. I watered my plants and gave them some love. I rested and I restored. I did a lot of that. I haven't been sleeping very well lately, to be honest. So I got a lot of rest in, and that was good. Yeah, so just naming all the things. Grill! Hey! Sorry, my dog's trying to hump my other dog. So yeah, practice that for yourself every single night as well, but especially when you just are feeling down about yourself that you didn't get anything done. How are you doing, Shannon? How was your Monday morning? So the other thing that I wanted to mention here that I actually touched on a while ago, this was the next thing that I attributed to my morning routine that has still stuck, okay? And like I said, just, well, practice these on your own, find what suits you, keep what you like, get rid of what you don't like, and find something that does, because something that lights you up in the morning gets you excited to do it. It's the whole purpose, okay? So don't feel like you have to practice exactly what I do. This is what works for me. And yeah. So affirmations, this is the next thing that I do. It's just a direct transition from gratefulness practices to affirmations. And these can feel a little funny when you're saying these, because you're stating statements that you aspire to, you know? Like, if you are aspiring to be a successful entrepreneur, your affirmation would be, I am a successful entrepreneur. I am successful. I am confident. I am radiant. I am bursting with creative flow and ideas. I am magnetizing my most ideal dream clients. I am, I'm calling in massive abundance. I am abundant. I am wealthy. I am like a beautiful, confident goddess-like woman. Whatever it is that you got to say to yourself, that is these things that you're aspiring to, these things that you know deep down are you. I do want to say that because where did I read this? I think it was in a Joe Dispenza book. To enable to identify something, an energy, a feeling, a property, logistically, the only way that you can identify that is because you have that within yourself. You can't identify like a property or an emotion or whatever it is if you don't have it within you. So if you can identify confidence, if you can identify success, then you have some of that energy, some of that property within you. So I want you to acknowledge that. And choosing to focus on these and make that energetic statement, just like the gratefulness practices, that I am this, I am confident, I am successful, seems so simple, but with repetition, just like gratefulness practices, it kind of works the same here. It goes out and finds those things via the reticular activating system. It goes out and finds ways to prove that you are successful, that you are radiant, that you are confident. It will provide you with examples that'll make you focus on it more, because you're choosing to focus on those positive notes, not saying, like, I had a friend in college that would just say, well, I'm garbage. Like, I would get so mad at her. I would be like, why are you saying that? Stop saying that. And then it like passed on to some other friends and they thought it was this cool thing to say. Why do we do this to ourselves? Why do we tell ourselves I'm broke? Like, it's just a normal thing to say, like, I'm broke. It's like a funny thing to say, well, I'm broke. Next paycheck, maybe. I don't got enough money to even pay for my groceries. Or we talk so much about this in the abundance frequency, but it's just ridiculous. It's like we pride ourselves off all these negative things because we think it's funny, but it's not internally. You know, it's like this way of reaching for self-acceptance. Because if you were to say, I'm a radiant, confident, successful goddess, that might weird people out. Same with gratefulness practices and stuff, right? Because it's something out of our norm. Everybody's focusing on the negative things in our lives, but you can be that example for yourself and for others. Because when we turn around and we choose to focus on something else, something that we aspire to, we attract what we aspire to. Saying things in repetition trains our minds, rewires our minds to believe that that is so. Especially when we spark it with that emotion, elevating our vibration while we are saying these affirmations, empowering ourselves rather than like trying to convince ourselves, empowering ourselves, knowing that to recognize these things that we have them within us, and we're choosing to focus on them and expand them and bring them out further into the world. Because when you elevate that energy, it just like it attracts to you, it magnetizes to you even more so, like tenfold. Okay. So like I said, some simple things that are really just so powerful, and there's no excuse for it that you can't find time to do gratefulness and affirmations, at least those two. You know, I think a common one is like, I don't have time for meditation. It's like, do you not have time to like spend time on your well-being? Like, it really comes down to what is important to you, what your priorities are, because waking up 10 minutes earlier is just a choice. Going to bed 10 minutes earlier is just a choice. But saying gratefulness statements and affirmations, you can say those in the car, okay, on your way to work. There's something that you can take with you everywhere. And when I was going through this time, I would say them all the time. I would say them at home, like when I was doing my whole morning routine, and then I would say them like in the car too. I would say them all the time. Like, I literally was holding on to everything. Like, I was mentally, internally shifting my mindset on purpose, you know? And when, like I said, when we look at these things like they're new to us, like we're hanging on to them because we know that they're going to change our frequency, change our lives, we approach it in an entirely different way. Sorry, I'm like choking on my words. I'm like losing my voice already. I think morning is just, you know, extra for that. But so I hope I didn't leave anything out here. These are the main things that I wanted to cover, because these are the main things that I have incorporated into my morning routine that really stick with me. But like I said, everyone is different, okay? I have recently switched up. Every once in a while, I kind of go half and half between doing meditation and doing like ecstatic dance or breath work, because I think it's really important to switch that energy up when you feel like it's running stagnant. And I wanted to move. I used to do yoga flow in the morning too for a while in the summertime when it was nice outside, because I'd go outside and do it. And I'll probably do that again. I have journaled in the morning before, depending on if how much time that you have. I know journaling, it's really good to spend a lot of time doing that, because you can dive deeper into the mind and really get those emotions out like it's supposed to. But those are some other things that you can do. You could go for a walk out in nature and like do some prayer. Like that stuff is so powerful too. There you can do a hypnosis. You can read out on the porch or something, some routine that makes you excited to wake up, that you can spend with yourself for some self-love, some self-care, self-development. Because when we move on with our day, I have been in many states before where like I feel like I didn't do anything for myself, or I didn't develop my spiritual practice or my spiritual energy. I just lived a normal ass day. First of all, your energy should be something that it doesn't just stop at the morning routine, okay? The most important part is actually like the entirety of your day, the middle of your day. That is not your morning routine or your night routine, okay? It's how you actually participate during the day in like every situation that you're in. But your morning routine sets that energy. I do notice a difference between the days where I don't practice my morning routine and the days that I do is a huge difference. And I'm sure that you're going to find that to be the exact same for yourself. So I do have a piece of homework for you guys for each one of these days. I do want to send you with one piece of homework. If you don't have the media content for this, the written content, I think there's a workbook inside and the pre-recorded videos from the last session. Let me know and like comment here or something, and I'll get you set up so you can get that as well. But so I want to send you with a little bit of homework, and really what I want you to do is incorporate one of these things that I said today. And if you have some sort of thing that I haven't touched that's like, really good for spiritual practice, then mention it, okay? So everybody else can try that too. And I'm also curious, but incorporate one of these things we talked about today, okay? And we talked about a lot. We talked about meditation. We talked about gratefulness, affirmations. I've said journaling, breath work, ecstatic dance, reading books, going out on a nature walk, hypnosis, yoga, whatever else I've said, and whatever else you can recommend. Incorporate one thing into your morning routine. Or if you don't have a morning routine, then start with this, okay? Test things out, don't just stop at one thing and said that wasn't for you, okay? Try new things out over and over and over again. Find what works for you. Find what lights you up inside, gets you excited to wake up and to work on yourself and to set your energy up for the entire day. And I want to know how it went. I want to know what you chose. You can, like I said, don't feel afraid. You could like post it if you wanted. Do a picture, do a video, do just like write something. You just comment here. Doesn't matter at all. I just want to see you participating. I just want to see you inside. And I can't wait to communicate with you all. So we are kind of like right on the dot here. Tomorrow we are going to be talking about emotional intelligence, like I said before. So this is really just paying attention to how you feel. Grow! Hey! Stop it! Gosh. Sorry. He can't control himself. I think my other dog is going into heat or something soon. But anyways, so this is kind of the next thing, right? We set up our morning routine, we set up a good energy for the day, and then we go out into our day. So paying attention to how you feel throughout the day. like these things sound so simple, but I have so much to say within it because emotional intelligence like made manifestation come full circle for me. Um, Paying attention to less technique and more just how you feel always. So I can't wait to dive into that. I hope that I see you guys in here tomorrow. It's going to be at 7 a.m. once again. We're going to start our mornings off together this week. But once again, recordings will be available and you can comment anything that you would like here, even if you're watching the replay. And yeah, I hope you guys all have an amazing Monday, Manifest Monday. I'm sure if you're on my email list, you'll get an email from me today because I like to send those out on Mondays. But I'm glad I got to tune in with you guys today because Mondays, there's so much stigma around the energies of Mondays that it really irritates me. So I'm glad that I got to be a part of this to rewrite this for you, and I can't wait to continue to. So I'll see you guys tomorrow, guys. I just said guys twice. I'll see you, goddess ladies, tomorrow.